Well, apparently I messed up. It's making me do it like this in portrait mode, which I don't want to do. I don't know why it's doing this, but all right. Oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm using my other phone to do the chat because it's pretty hard to see. So I want to take the time to thank everyone for this year. It's been a really good year. Happy holidays. I want to tell everyone that first off. Let's see here. What do we have here in the chat? Audio, video, good. That's good to hear. It wouldn't let me start. It was orientation. I guess I had the orientation set. I didn't realize that was a thing. So I got to do it like this. Let's see. Yellows look good. Yeah, these yellows are really, really good. It's like as soon as I got old enough, they started getting buried, and then they started having babies, and then all the ones that were buried, or all the ones that had babies, are buried again already. It's it's really good when you get new shrimp to do that good that fast. Pretty happy with them. They're right here. That's where they're at. Let's see. So the reason I'm doing a live stream today is I was just out of ideas for video. I tried a couple ideas. I couldn't really get anything going. And it's like some of the videos. So what do you guys want to see me do? I'm here to ask questions, help people, whatever. Small time tanks. They look pretty good, better than the blue jellies I'll be getting next month. I got plenty of blue jellies right now, that's for sure. I've been hoarding them for a while because I couldn't keep them in stock. I was selling way too many of them. So, let's see. So, I need some of you guys to participate here because I don't really have anything planned out. I'm just here. I had no ideas. I tried making a couple videos, like I said, that are due to come out today. Just didn't. Can I go over my lights again? Yes, I sure can. So the majority of my lights are 4 foot long LED. They're the Barinas that come with the reflectors on Amazon, and they're 40 watts. I also have some 20-watt ones, but I like the 40-watt ones better. And this is one right here. And then I have some. Let's see. I got some old Aquanites that still are running, but as they fail, I just replace them with shop lights unless it doesn't really make sense. I mean, I have 4 foot shop lights stuffed over 20-gallon longs where it don't really matter, but out and about in the house and stuff. Like I still have a few nice tank lights. Like I have my favorite light right now is the aquarium co-op light that I have on my 40-gallon Caridina shrimp tank. That's my favorite light. And if I could afford it, I'd have that on all of them. But I paid like $150 for that one light, and that would be expensive. You good with videos? They're always worth watching now. I try, but it's like I feel like all my videos are just I don't know. Honestly, I've just run out of ideas. So if any of you guys have ideas for future videos, that would be awesome. Last few weeks I've been leaving mine on, and my 10-gallon has exploded. Yeah, yeah. The lights in my Caridina tank, where there's not a whole lot of nutrients in that tank, I leave the light on for 16 hours a day. And how about the flood over the ponds? The flood over the ponds. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So like outside when it rains? Is that what you're talking about? I have, well, on my in-ground pond, it just kind of overflows and gets soaked up into the ground. But on my tubs, oh, floodlights. I got you. Floodlights. Those, yeah, I do have. Here's a floodlight right here too. That's the 150 watt LE power spotlight shop light, I think is what they're called. The brand name is LE Power. 150 watt now. They're awesome and they're cheap. Well, they're awesome for if they work right. Some of them don't work for real long. Some of them work perfectly for years, and other ones start going out in like 3 or 4 months. It's just cheap Chinese crap that uses up a lot of electricity and gets super hot. So I mean, a lot of them components in there are probably pretty cheap, I'm sure. Oh, we have someone being nosy. What are you doing? This cat never comes to see me. Well, she does, but oh. So did I answer your questions about the floodlight? Lauren Smithson, love watching your content. I got a shrimp rack going now in Canada. People love my Bloody Marys. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, well, I'm gonna try to buy something for a third of what a good one would cost. So you just kind of roll the dice and you get what you get type of situation, I feel. You know, and sometimes I like to get a couple. I don't just dive into it. I get one, try it, see how it works. But just because the first one worked doesn't mean the second one's going to work as good or be as bad. It's quality control and the manufacturing with these cheap lights. The Aquaneats, I have an Aquaneat that still works pretty good, and it's like 6 years old. Then I have some that have been fried after 3 months. So again, I mean, you generally get what you pay for. Hello, Larry Henry. Hello. Like I said, I don't really have anything in particularly planned. I had troubles coming up with ideas. It's like I feel like every video is just me doing something. I feel like I make the same one all the time. I know a lot of you guys like that, or you wouldn't watch. But I feel like I need to do some more teaching videos, topic videos. But then small time tanks, I can send you some scuds. You would make many videos trying to fight them off. Ha! I'm not trying to do any of those kind of videos. I'm so lucky that back in the day when I was starting all this, and I mean, I was completely ignorant to it. I was completely ignorant to it of duckweed when I first started setting all these tanks up. I never had duckweed before. I never heard of scuds before. I had no idea what the implications of even having them were when I started setting up all these tanks. And there's like every guy I've talked to on a regular basis that has lots of tanks is fighting scuds. I wish I would have picked out the duckweed when it first popped up. I remember how I got it too. I got a whole bunch of guppy grass from, I think it was Live Fins, and I got some other floaters too. I'm sure they come in with the floaters and the guppy grass. I was like, oh, what's all these little duckweed? The rainbow lightnings are breeding and doing great. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I really, really, when I started setting all these tanks up, I set them up to do guppies. I mean, that's what I've had guppies in planted tanks for years and years and years, and that's what I wanted to do because I've loved guppies. I mean, I've had guppies. I think I've had guppies almost continuously since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. There might have been a few times in my early adult days or teenage days when I was trying to keep big, bad, mean cichlids, you know. I see young guy. I want big and aggressive, mean fish. And I agree with that. Then I got into planted tanks with guppies. Then, and I started setting all these tanks up mainly to breed guppies. Like, I want to try some of these shrimp. And they just took off. I never had any issues. They just started breeding like crazy from the starting point. And so I just got lucky. And now the deeper and deeper I get into it, especially helping other people, I've learned a lot of stuff. See, I can't keep top floating plants alive mainly because light's not scheduled or because of lids. Well, a lot of them don't like if you have like a power filter or current, a lot of them won't do that. Now I've had tanks with a lot of current that still has tons of duckweed, and I've had tanks with lots of current that don't. I hardly ever get it. But pretty much most tanks, there's at least a leaf or two floating around, and the ones I fall behind on, there's a huge patch of it. And then another place, if you want some tips on duckweed, that's the like plants that grow up to the surface, like your stem plants, where those things touch the surface, where you have plants growing up and touching the surface. Yeah, all the duckweed's going to collect right there and hold it in place. And if it's right underneath the light, it's just going to grow, grow, grow like crazy. Hey, LJ. Let's see. I have my Red Riding Hoods are doing so good. So good. Lots of babies. I think there's one of the babies that might be red, fully red, and one might be a really. It's hard to tell. But they all, so far, out of like 3 batches of babies, and they're just now getting big enough to really see. I think they're going to have good, breeding out really good, LJ. I've had good luck with floating Bacopa. Yeah. Yeah, those are a little different. The floating stem plants. But yeah, if you float stem plants, anything that's like growing up on the surface, like duckweed, man, that is a duckweed magnet in my tanks. Like one of my 100-gallon stock tank pond in my bedroom with the blue jellies in it. When I was ripping out all that moss last week, I showed in one of my last videos. I think it was this. Yeah, that was my last video. Once in a while, get really snowballs are still growing, plus harder to see. I keep checking. Yeah, the snowballs. If I keep them on black, and then a tank full of moss, that's the best way to see them for sure. Black sand and yeah, those snowballs. They just There's a time where I wasn't even trying to keep them. They just kept going in a tank that I had a bunch of guppies in, and I was treating guppies, and the shrimp were dying. I was trying to get these guppies going. I didn't even worry about my snowballs because I never sold any back in the day. And so then I started getting people asking about them. I was like, well, I was down to only a handful, and I brought them all back out, and I got 220s full of them. And that was a while ago. But they always breed. They breed so fast. Hard water shrimp. That's why I chose you. Yeah. Like where I live, there's stone quarries. It's limestone quarries everywhere. So like Indiana limestone. There's lots of famous buildings that have been built with Indiana limestone. Larry, how you doing? Hi, Mark. Wish I could stay, but hit the thumbs up for you, brother. Off to work. Yeah, yeah. That's the problem about doing these in the middle of the day. It's like now it's my job. It's my living. I used to never be able to make live streams or do anything during the week most of the time because I was living in a crappy hotel room with really bad internet. I know sometimes I take some shorts and try to upload them during the week, and it'd take like an hour and 45 minutes with cheap, crappy hotel Wi-Fi. So, man, lunchtime for me. Yeah, I upload videos every Wednesday and Friday, and I do it at 12:04 because I know 12 o'clock is when a lot of people are taking lunch. You get back, get situated, and you can watch it on your lunch break. Oh, Brandy, that's the life. She's at work. Yeah, yeah. Must be nice to sit around. LOL. Yeah, yep. Sit around all day. Farming shrimp. Trying to dream up video ideas. It's like obviously I'm never gonna be a famous YouTuber. I am a shrimp breeder doing my best on YouTube. But I actually have got I just got new tripods. I think I'm gonna get a new microphone, new lights. I set up I have a teleprompter. I haven't used that yet. So when I do my informative videos and I come up with a script so I can sound less dumb and actually show myself. So that would be fun. Maybe. I don't know. uh, let's see. But yeah, we got the yellows, the new yellows I got. Oh my goodness, there's so many of them. I think we may have black rose babies, but I have not seen any yet. And what I'm really happy about is these new orange realies. Surprisingly, the shrimp having the most babies for me right now are the cardinal Sulawesi. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Are you keeping them warm and then your neotanks might be cold during the winter? Maybe I don't know. That might have something to do with it. I don't know what temperature you keep your tanks, but I'm sure you're keeping a heater going on those. See, happy holidays, Mark. Trying to do Right Bear Bloody Mary, Snowball, and Blue Dreamline. I'm raising out here in California. Awesome, man. I send lots of shrimp all over the country. It's pretty amazing. I'm having trouble figuring out how to call my black rose. Some are black with a rust color. Some are black with that's the black rose are going to be one of those lines like greens that are super hard to stay on top of. That's just how they work because they're close. They're kind of close to Bloody Marys and they're kind of close to Blue Dreams. So you're going to kind of go back and forth on those. And then it also depends on the purity of the line. So like if you've got someone that's been lining out, I can go pull out black roses out of my Bloody Mary, but who knows what they're gonna throw. I mean, blues will throw blacks. You can get blacks from mixing about anything with the Bloody Marys and blues and chocolates and all that. So you'll get a mix of all those, and black rose is going to be a hard one to to breed true. Like I tried black roses years ago and gave up. I got them as imports, and like I got beautiful, beautiful black shrimp, beautiful black shrimp, perfect. And then they bred out, and less than 30% of them were keepers. But yeah. Let's see. All right, Henry, you're going to try adding some Neocaena shrimp to the lightnings, but not sure what color to get yet. Yeah. Like for me, with like I like to keep shrimp with guppies, but you can't seriously do shrimp with guppies over the long term because more times than not, you're going to have to treat guppies with something, and shrimp don't like that. And so you're going to want to avoid. But I keep them in there for fun. You can put coals or when you want to try a new mix or something like that. But if you want to seriously try to breed a line, you probably don't want to do it with guppies in the tank. But if you're just doing it to have a tank, you're not worried about breeding a bunch, and if you just want to enjoy the shrimp with the guppies, then have at it. As long as you have plenty of moss and stuff, the shrimp will outbreed the guppies. Well, not all guppies. I had some full reds once. They were huge guppies. There were people who come over like, "What's that? Is that a molly?" I was like, "No, that's a guppy." Like, you're kidding me? That's the biggest. There were full reds, and they wolf packed full grown adult shrimp, picked their legs off, picked at them till they died, then they just eat them all, eat the dead body, and then they go on and go on. Back years ago, I had the 40-gallon tank I was keeping them in. I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of red shrimp in there. I put those full red guppies in there. After about 7 or 8 months, there wasn't a shrimp to be found in there. That's the only guppies I've ever had do that. Those guys are huge and they were aggressive, and you couldn't ever get any fry to live unless you separated them or kept them in a huge, like stock tank or something. Yeah, so we're having the same experience. Yeah, I got black roses now, and they've been worked on as a line for a while from Grant Eater to Garnet Eater, and we'll see. Well, I hope they're pretty good. I think they'll be pretty good. There's a few of them that when I got a real bright light on them and I shined down, a couple were kind of reddish and a couple were kind of blue. So I pulled those out, but I know because I know what I'm up against. Whoa, Mr. Shelley Streams. Yeah. I don't know. I want to see how this one goes. I want to know how I messed up and made it on portrait mode instead of landscape mode. Yeah. So this one here, I have it's not white, but it's the light sand I like to use. It's like paver sand I get at Lowe's. The blacks really show up good on that. Maybe I can get this up here. Let's see if I hold it still. I have it front facing camera, so I can't see what it's showing. Hopefully you guys are seeing something. There's the yellows. And here's the little Red Riding Hoods. There's some babies right there. I don't know if you guys can see them or not. Maybe you can. All right. So if I can get this situated again. Is this on mobile? YouTube won't let you change orientation once the live starts. StreamYard and some other broadcasts. Yeah, I'm just on the YouTube app. I didn't set up any third-party apps for it. Yeah. Yeah, the babies are wild, blue and black. Calling is the name of the game, I guess. I do know it's good to let them develop a bit before jumping the gun. Yep. Like now, you can tell an obviously bad blue one or a red one or a wild one from the very get-go. But then the ones that are kind of, I don't know, or maybe it's black, but don't look so hot, but maybe they could be better. Then you want those to grow up. But you got to be careful with the males because the males will start breeding when they're pretty young. So you do want to get them out. Now, if they're borderline, if they go ahead and grow up and breed, and it's not the end of the world, I feel. But the ones that are clearly bad, you want to get those as soon as you can, for sure. Yeah, just keeping shrimp with them and having a tank not to breed might do the Skittles. Yep, yep. I had mixed tanks or mixed shrimp in my tanks. This one down here at the Rainbow Lightning Guppies with the Crypt Garden. We've got the ones I had outside, just random blue jellies and the reds. That's what I got in there. Yeah, LJ, I noticed that with greens it takes a little bit longer to color up. Yeah, they can. They can for sure. Yeah, Skittles are small time tanks. Skittles are fun. Yeah, small. I've told people. I've mentioned it to others about small time tanks. How he got a Skittles pack like what 2 years ago now, I think maybe. And you just pull out the wild ones, and over the last couple of years, you still have lots of really really nice shrimp. So you can keep the different colors looking nice. Just like with Skittles, you're going to have more to pull out. But with any shrimp, you pull out the ones you don't like because they're all going to eventually revert back to being wild if let go long enough. Skittles is just for people who want to have shrimp and have fun with them or want to do some breeding experiments. You know, that's new people to learn with, good cheap shrimp to learn with. And if you take the bad ones out, just like anything else, you're going to end up getting more and more better shrimp. Let's see here. Oh yeah, back to the greens. So like you can get my greens, I can get anything from yellow to orange to black to any kind of green, the puke green, the happy holidays. Oh, that's in case y'all were wondering. Brandy is my wife and she's at work. I do. I have traded off at least 100 of at least and just list about 60 to do on my own fault over the years. Lost 60. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I had I killed a tank. I think it was spring, summer, and I still didn't. I didn't figure it out. I've been wrecking my brain. What the heck happened? Brain. LJ says, Andy, Latoya's still talking about hanging out with you at the Clash. Yeah, yeah. We had fun hanging out with you guys at the Clash. Oh yeah, you still have lots of them. You still have lots of them, for sure. Yeah, y'all need to thank Brandy for letting me do this. I fill the house up with tanks. Alex's aquarium. Hello. Yeah. Let's see, I got sidetracked there. What was I talking about? Let me go back to see if I can jog my memory. The green, yeah, the greens are a pain in the butt. That's for sure. I think the black rose are going to be the same kind of situation. I mean, a lot of times, like if you see decent blacks, they're pretty expensive most of the time. The same thing with the greens, because I mean, it's just like the real fancy high end Caridina. The ones that are really, really, really expensive, like the boas, you're lucky to get 15, 20% that breed true. It's like the more desirable and rare phenotype is, the more expensive it's going to be and the harder it is to replicate. It's like the reds. I mean, some of these reds I've been seeing just completely blow my mind. I think I'm going to try getting some new really awesome fire reds and try to do that. I think that's going to be one of the lines I get. And I want some carbon realies too. I think those sound fun. I think on this top shelf here behind me, I had planned on putting 420 longs. I think I'm going to put a 40-gallon right here on this corner so I can see it on the side and the front, so I can see it on 3 sides, and then do 2 20s on this side and have a little space for storage in the middle. I think that's what I'm going to do because those yellows are doing so good, and if the babies grow up to be solid, then I think I'm going to start working on mass producing those in a 40-gallon for sales reasons. I think that is the plan for the top shelf. Now, I hope. And then in the spring, I've been looking into and deep diving the whole greenhouse thing. I think I'm going to build a greenhouse with either in-ground ponds, which would be a lot tougher, or just get like 5 or 6 IBC totes and put them in a greenhouse. I mean, I'd have to be like one of those temporary ones that I reinforce. You can get these greenhouses on Amazon for like less than $200. They're like 10 by 20 foot. And then I've been deep diving because if you just set them up with no reinforcement or anything, they're going to blow away the first 30, 40 mile an hour wind you get. So I've been deep diving. You put baseboards all around it, attach the tent, put string cords over it, keep them from flopping in the wind and tearing seams and wearing out the material. I think it'll be fun. We'll see how that goes. Because I got a lot of plans for the spring. Although the 10 are easy and fun, I've noticed a very big difference in shrimp size in the 40 breeder. Shrimp and the breeder get huge. Yeah, that makes a difference. And like I've noticed that with some of my lines. Like some lines, they'll breed themselves crazy, and you'll just have thousands and thousands of shrimp. And the shrimp overall, even in a big tank, you'll see they'll just keep breeding, but the shrimp will keep getting smaller and smaller, and you'll have adults that are only like 3/4 of an inch, the biggest females. Trying to get mine bigger. LJ, if you want big, beautiful shrimp, if you want your shrimp, I learned this summer. Throw some outside, let them live outside, and like 400 or 500 gallons of water, and then pull them out. You'll have the biggest, highest grade shrimp you've ever seen. That's why when you see some of these imports that people are selling, it's like, oh my God, that can't even be real. Because they were raised up outside in a pond under the natural light. It makes such a big difference. Like some of these reds, I mean, my reds are all right. But when I pulled out some of those reds, they were just fire engine red. Like legs are perfectly solid. Like the best red shrimp I've ever seen in my life in person. And they're like they're like 1.5 inches. They were monsters. And that's why we get some of these shrimp that look so good. Oh my God, you're so awesome, and they breed out and you're disappointed. That's what I was worried about, these orange realies I got. But all those little tiny newborn babies that were in the bag with them, almost all of them are growing up to be at least pretty solid. So I have high hopes for those guys now. They've been doing really good. But I can't wait to see what some of these. Hello, Jeff. Stock tank might work for the greenhouse. Yeah. Eventually, the stock tanks, the one I have back here with all my other stuff, and let's see, I think this small time tanks, I think the size is more about available resources in space than genetics. I'm sure genetics play a role in it. But just my regular reds, they're pretty decent reds and nothing spectacular. I put them outside for the summer, and best reds I ever seen in my life in person. And that's how they do it. Definitely better than inside, raised under artificial light with limited food out there. I mean, there's all the food you want. So I have eventually the stock tanks are going to be going outside. I've already got the old guppy pond is going to be a shrimp pond. I'm going to put bug nets over everything. I learned my lesson this summer. Not having bug nets is usually not a good recipe for success. It's like the one I looked at, they're these little, like, they look nasty little beetles and they swim around real fast. Surely those ain't good for the shrimp. So I'm sure that's what done in a lot of my shrimp. I'm sure. But yeah, the size of the shrimp. Throw them out next year. Throw your best shrimp outside, and then take them to the Keystone Clash. I bet you'll do good. I wonder if you bring big ones back inside, will they stay true to? Yeah, they won't shrink. The ones I have still living, I've lost some of them just because they were giant old shrimp. But the ones I brought in, they stayed. Their colors were stayed just as good. They stayed just as big. A few of them died off, but I mean they're big old shrimp, and they were living outside, getting rained on, and they come inside and they got to live in liquid rock all back to where they come from. I mean that's what they're used to, but they went from getting a lot of rainwater, way softer water. I imagine. I never did test it, but I'm sure I got first, second, and third at the Clash, but add some. Oh, I got you in Aquashella. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, those shrimp are monsters. They're the biggest, best reds I've ever seen in person. And like I said, my reds are pretty decent, but they're nothing. They're not like, oh my God. There's some really, 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 really good reds out there. But then put them outside like that. I ain't seen any better. And they're just mixed. They're out there with blue jellies too, so who knows? I'm sure the really, really good ones were the original ones I put out there. They were pure reds. Let's see. Nice, Jeff. Got some? Yeah. Let's see what we got here. See if I missed anything. But yeah. So I guess I'll go ahead and start ending this thing. We've been going, what, almost 40 minutes, I think. And if anyone has any questions or anything, go ahead. I'll stay on here as long as there's people talking. But if there's no questions to answer, I'm out of things to talk about. Alex Gonzalez, happy holidays, man. Super excited. This is my first time, or this is my first full year doing this for a living. So it's been a fun year. And that's thanks to you guys. I wanted to thank you all for everything you guys support. And I'm sure there'll be more people watch the replay of this. Who knows, with the camera being messed up. Let's see. Thanks for live stream, Mark. Catch you on the next one. Yeah, thank you, Larry. Thank you for watching. How often do you reset your shrimp tanks? Probably 6 months to a year. That's what I tell people. depends how fast they breed out. If the tank's full of shrimp and the breeding slows down, I start seeing less and less paired females. And I pull them all out and reset. And usually you pull out all the shrimp, put just the females back in with a few of the best boys, or the best females with the best boys. And since there's way less, they all usually become buried right away and go crazy. And they breed back out again, breed back out again. And then 6 months later, it's time to do it again. Still a favorite video, taking it full-time announcement, self-employment stuff. Yeah. Well, luckily, I've set myself up where I don't have to make a lot of money to live. I mean, drive old cars, live in an old house, no car payments, no house payment. Any news on your Caridina shrimp tank, Mark? Well, they're doing good. They're doing good. I think whatever issue I was having is over. I think I did see like 3 new babies in there. So hopefully I think we turned the corner. I think we turned the corner. Yeah, that's the same schedule I'm on too. Sweet. Yeah. It's like sometimes it depends. Some of the lines will take a while to get going, or I'm really picky a certain time. Instead of keeping like 30 or 40 of them, I only keep like 10 or 15. And of course, obviously, that takes a lot longer to breed out when you only got like 10 females breeding it back out instead of 20 or 30. So just depends how picky I am on the resets. Sometimes if you reset it down to like 10, 15 shrimp, it'll take closer to a year, 9 months to a year. But usually when it's the 30 to 50, it's usually about 6 months. And the blues, I've had some blues where the Blue Dreams, I'm resetting them after like 5 months because they'll breed back out so fast. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And maybe I'll try doing this more. I've been on Jeff's streams with him. I was on Bob Kaler's stream. Well, I'm trying to get used to doing live streams so I can start doing my own. See, yeah. Will Neocaridina get along with pom-pom crabs? I don't know. I've never kept them. I never kept pom-pom crabs. Merry Christmas, Jeff. Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.